guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with some historical romance recommendations. I have not done a video like this in like 3 years. I can link my old one down below. I haven't even watched it. I don't know if any of these overlap. I do have a few historicals that I read a while ago that are on this list, but ones that I read this year that are on this list, so you can watch it if you want to. I don't know how good it is, but I love historical romances so much, and I have so many I need to read. My entire bottom corner of my shelves are mass market paperbacks that are historical romances. When I go to my book sale this summer for half price books, they're clearance sale. They're 50 cents a piece, so I pick up a lot of mass markets at that sale, and I always look at Goodwill and the clearance section of half price bookstores to find more. So I have a lot, and I will say I haven't read some that I really want to get to, like Tessa Dare, a lot of Lisa Kleypas, a lot of Sarah McLean. Those are like the standout historical romance authors that I need to read more of that I haven't, but I have other books to share with you. The first one is one of my favorite historical romance authors that I discovered early in my historical reading journey, and that is Elizabeth Hoyt. These are in her Maiden Lane series, and they're books 5 and 4. I got these back in 2012 and 2013 when they came out, and I don't even know if I read it in order, but it is kind of like a Robin Hood-esque book where it is the Ghost of St. Giles is the man who is masked that goes around London and protects people, and they like protect the innocent, and the women always fall in love with the man who is this Ghost of St. Giles, and the ghost is different men. It's not one man falling in love with a bunch of women, it is a bunch of different men who put on the mask and go out and protect society and the streets of London, and these women fall in love with them. So they're really good. I love them. I love that kind of action-y, secretive, Robin Hood-esque kind of story. And I don't know if it's like more Batman with like the mask and going out and protecting the streets. I don't know. They were really good though, and I would definitely recommend checking out this series. Next is one of my new favorite historical romance authors, and that's Kerrigan Byrne. I have read The Highwayman and her newest one, How to Love a Duke in 10 Days, and both of these are so good, but they're very different. This one I talked about in my dark romance recommendation video last week, so you might have already heard me talk about it, but our main character falls in love when she's at this orphanage and has like a wedding ceremony with the boy when they're like 10 or something, and then she's almost violated by the owner of the orphanage, and her faux husband, I guess, comes in and saves her life. So he ends up having to go to jail, her love, and she learns that he dies in jail, and so she is now in her 20s, and she still goes by her married name of her love from the past, even though they never were officially married, and she's working for the police. And the highwayman comes in, and he knew her love in prison, and they were friends, and she has to marry him for a specific reason, so it's a marriage of convenience, and he kind of seals her away to Scotland, and it's so good. So good. I loved it. Damaged hero, scarred hero, angry hero, hate to love. This one is also hate to love, and it's also a marriage of convenience, and our main character, something horrible happens to her in the beginning, and she has 3 best friends, and they kind of form this pact. It's either 2 or 3. I don't remember how many there are, but there's a pack, and it's a really cute friendship that they all have. I loved how close they were, and she has to marry this duke, and she goes on a honeymoon with him, and she likes to look at old artifacts and like do archaeological digs and stuff. So they're very good romances. I would highly recommend. The next one I read a while ago, but I loved it, and that is How the Duke Was Won by Leonora Belle. Leonora Belle's also an early favorite of mine when I started reading historical romances. Our main character has to go and impersonate her half-sister to win the heart of a duke, because I forget where her half-sister is, but she has to impersonate her, and they look very similar, and I believe she works in a brothel. I think. Like her mom owns it or something. I could be completely wrong and mixing up my historicals, but she has to go, and so she's not like any of the other ladies there. There's 4 women there to court our duke, so it's kind of like The Bachelor. He gets to choose which woman he wants, and she really pushes his buttons. It's so cute. I loved it. It's book 1 in the series. I haven't finished the rest of the series, but it was really good. Next is another favorite historical romance, and that is In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. This one, so good. Our main character is hiding from people in a convent because she is like the heir to this huge fortune, and people are going to try to force her into marriage so that they could get the fortune. I think it's because she's related to like the king or something. I don't remember, but then she ends up saving a little boy, and they end up being rescued by the little boy's uncle, who is the clan leader. I always forget what they're called. The leader of the clan, whatever it's called. I don't remember. But he ends up doing a marriage of convenience. I love marriage of convenience trope, especially in historical romances, to protect her so no one can force her into marriage. And they end up striking up a romance, and it's super cute. She's very stubborn, she's very hard-headed, and it's not really hate to love, but it kind of is, and she definitely will not listen to a man, and it's so good. Book 2, I was kind of disappointed in. I think I gave book 2 3 stars, but this is definitely 5 out of 5 stars. Loved it, and I can't wait to read more of Mai Banks' historical series. She has another Highlander series, and then there's book 3 in this series I still have to read. The next one I have are romances that came out this year and I read, and the first one is Say No to the Duke by Eloisa James. Our main character, her mother pretty much ruined her reputation. I think she like cheated on her father, ran away. So our main character really is trying to put on this prim, proper persona and make every man want her, and what happens is a duke actually falls for her and he's like, I want to marry you, I'm a duke, I'm the choice. And she doesn't know she should accept. She's already not accepted lots of proposals, but then this infuriating man comes in and he's like, why don't you marry me? And he's like, say no to the duke, marry me. And she really knows she should marry the duke, but she's kind of intrigued by this guy that she really hates. So it's kind of a love triangle, kind of, and she has to choose who she wants to be with. I really enjoyed it, and I believe she wants to like dress like a man. She really wants adventure, so she wants to dress like a man, and if you want to marry me, then you're gonna help me do what I want and have an adventurous life. So yeah, it's fun. I liked it, and it was a fun romance. And the last one's one I read this year too, and I loved it so much, and that is One Fine Duke by Leonora Belle. This one, our main character really wants to live an adventurous life, and so she has her sights set on this one particular man who's a rake, and she's like, he's gonna give me the adventure I want, and she's pretty sure that he's a spy, and so she wants to marry him, and so she sets her sights on him and runs into his brother, and kind of has this flirtatious banter with his brother, starts falling for his brother, but then she's like, no, I need to marry the one who's going to give me a life of adventure, not the boring professional duke. So guess who she falls in love with? It's so fun and cute, and I loved it so much. In the ending, there's like action in the ending too, which I really love a little action in my historical romances, so I would definitely recommend picking this up. And those are some historical recommendations for you. Let me know down below what you think I should read as a historical romance. I would love to hear. I know I need to read The Wallflower Wager by Tessa Dare. I have to read The Wicked and the Wallflower by Sarah McLean. I have to read so many other books. But let me know if you have any favorites that aren't that well known. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.